Welcome back as we take a look at question number 10. Another limit. We've got limit as x approaches negative 2 of 1 over x plus 1 over 2 all over x plus 2. Now, just like the last question, if we think about it, this looks like another first principles derivative. It just looks like the form that we typically avoided in class because it was hard to work with, hard to factor things out. But it really is. More importantly, how would we approach this question if we saw it on an exam? What would we do? Well, I would, and I'm sure I'm not alone because a lot of you like to do this, I would try to plug the values in. Yeah, that's my instinct too, but I'll find that I plug in a value of negative 2 on the bottom. Negative 2 plus 2 is going to be equal to 0. So I'm not allowed to just plug things in. Okay, well, let's go back and use our quotient rule. And I can split this up into the limit of the top divided by the limit of the bottom. But the bottom's going to have a limit of 0. And the quotient rule, if we think back to the quotient rule was very clear. You can split a quotient of a limit into a limit of the quotient, or you can split the limit of a quotient into the quotient of a limit. Sorry, sometimes it gets confused in my head. Only if that bottom limit doesn't turn out to be 0. But it's turning out to be 0 right there. So what are we to do? Plain old ordinary limit laws don't work. Just like in the last question, we've got this sort of offending factor down here that equals 0. And we have to find a way to get rid of that. Find a way to cancel that out. Okay, and we really have to play around with it. Now, what might I do? Well, I need to get an x plus 2 as a factor on the top somehow. I think it might be the best, just because I'm seeing an x here and a 2 here, to get a nice, neat common denominator. So we're just going to rewrite the top ever so slightly. 2 over 2x plus x over 2x. You'll notice that 2 over 2x is the same as 1 over x. X over 2x is the same as 1/2. But now that I've got a common denominator, what can I do? Well, I can pull the top parts together. 2 plus x over 2x all over x plus 2. But now, looky here. X plus 2, x plus 2. And I'm left with 1 over 2x. And now I can just plug in, and I'll get 1 over negative 4, but we should probably write that as negative 1 over 4, negative a quarter. And is that one of the answers? Yep, there it is. It's B. I'm noticing a lot of the answers here are B's and C's. Interesting. But there we go. That was question... What question was that? That was question 10. Up next will be question 11.